At this point, everybody knows who Micheal Franzese is. He's pretty much this mobster from the early 1990s, I believe, and in the 1980s, I believe, and the 1970s. And he was pretty big around that time. And around that time, he had gotten arrested. He had went to jail multiple times. He had been called a snitch by Sammy the Bull, which is another person I will probably make a video on in the future. Sammy the Bull is pretty much just this mobster that reached a level of underboss and pretty much was sent out by Gotti to kill anybody. John Gotti was just, oh, go kill this guy, he's kind of getting on my nerves, gut him out. And most of the time, as far as we know, Sammy did act upon these wishes by John Gotti. Now, what exactly is Micheal Franzese known for? Because a lot of people probably think that he's known for being a criminal, and he's super relevant and famous because of that. It really wasn't until recently where he got a platform that anybody knew who he was. It was not because he was a big time mobster in the 70s, although he did obviously play a pivotal part in the inside in the 70s. It just didn't really make who he was. To piece it together in short form, Micheal Franzese was a underboss for a while and pretty much ran the biggest gasoline business. But he pretty much was earning millions of dollars in just a couple of days. I think there was a certain point where he earned $7 million in just a couple of days. And that's an insane amount of money. I mean, some people literally don't even make more than $14 a day. So think about that for a second. Now, of course, he was doing this illegally. Nothing he was doing was completely and utterly legal. It's defrauding, the government at the highest level. Still, Micheal Franzese is obviously a G. The biggest convolution for Micheal Franzese is the fact that he will never admit that he killed somebody. Although there are multiple ways to become a made man in the mobbing world, and his name was sent out to all 5 families and not just one singular family, and that was the family that his father was part of. He most likely never actually killed anybody to become a made man, even though that is one of the ways you can become a made man, killing somebody that the underboss or the boss tells you to kill. Now, although he never explicitly says he never killed someone, he'll never blatantly say that he has. Now, this is a problem, but this is also very smart. And the reason why this is a very big problem is because even though he's not saying that he killed anybody, it's kind of already stating that he did say he killed somebody. Because he's not saying he didn't, but he's also not explicitly saying that he did. So at the same time now, we got a bit of a conundrum. If he's saying that he'll never tell you, then he obviously did. That's just something we can piece together, right? If it's the other way around and he tells everybody that he killed somebody, he'll probably get a lot of hate and a lot of backlash, just like Sammy the Bull is getting right now as we speak. I mean, literally every time I watch a video on Sammy the Bull, like when he was talking about Hoffman's death and how he died, literally the entire comment section was filled with people criticizing the fact that this man's out of prison, even though he killed 19 people. Even though Sammy will never tell you that he actually put a gun to the back of a man's skull and shot him, it's pretty clear and pretty obvious that at some point he did do something like that, if not exactly to that reason. So although Micheal Franzese is not saying that he killed somebody or that he didn't kill somebody, is intelligent, it's also a groundbreaking reality truth that can easily be pieced together with some just basic strategical skills and a decent skill set in general and a decent level of intelligence. If somebody says to you that, oh, well, I can't tell you that really, man, if I told you, I'd probably go to jail. That's already saying that he killed somebody. I mean, do I have to say anything else? Although there is a lot of themes behind Micheal's name, like a lot of backlash, because he's a human being. Like, if I ever become relevant, there'll be a lot of backlash behind me, even though I know I'm a nice person and I'm a calm, collected person when reason is involved. Micheal Franzese has now turned himself into a complete and utter Christian, even though there's been times where he straight up just slipped up.
Your badge of honor, you killed 19, you put a gun in the fucking back of 19 guys. That's your badge of honor.
No, I didn't shoot 19 guys. I'm involved in 19 murders.
Good for you, Sammy.
Yeah. I'm involved in 3 mafia wars. What did I do? I ran the construction business with unions. What'd you do with the fucking phony bullshit with the gas and taking down performers? What's your father's name?
Phony?
Yeah, phony.
Yeah, Sammy.
You fucking you didn't try to shake down Michael Jackson. It didn't work.
Oh, Sammy, you know what? Stop you now. You're talking like a clown right now.
Now, I'm kind of about to piece together the Hoffman syndrome, so kind of get ready, guys. A lot of people don't know who Jimmy Hoffman is, and honestly, I don't really even know too much about Jimmy Hoffman, so I'm not going to tell you about how he died, since it's not even widely known on how he died. Nobody knows how he died. It's been told around the blocks that some mobsters know exactly what happened to Jimmy Hoffman. Some people even say that Jimmy Hoffman was himself involved directly with a family that was obviously in the mob, and he backstabbed them and died for it. But other people tend to believe that it had nothing to do with the mob and he just got gunned down one day and shot into a river. Or maybe he got kidnapped and nobody ever saw him again. Or maybe he just fell down the stairs and snapped his neck. Nobody really knows what happened to Jimmy Hoffman. In Michael's words, the thing that happened to Jimmy Hoffman is not widely known. Now, Michael himself doesn't actually know what happened to Hoffman at all. Sammy tends to believe that there's a lot of things that happened to Hoffman, even though he kind of mentions at the end of this podcast that Hoffman, there's really no explanation to his death at all. There's really just theories and that's it. So if people that are as big as Sammy and Michael don't know about Jimmy Hoffman, is there really any chance that the mob was ever involved in his death? I mean, these people were the top of the food chain in the mob. The top. They don't even know exactly what happened to him. They kind of just assume that he was thrown into a river. So really just a bunch of theories being passed around and stuff like that. But that's the Hoffman syndrome, I like to call it that at least.